That extra bite's getting you.
Yeah, feel my body temperature just rising right
That's
now.
right. Some oat milk.
What, are you okay?
Give it some oat milk, see how that... It's got some like underlying heat. Good flavor, but tastes like gasoline.
Oh my God.
Ooh, give me the hiccups. I mean, that's good.
Oh my God, it's stilly. Oh my God, it doesn't stop.
Do the exercise, eat some hot sauce. What's your signature dish, Jack? Oh my God.
Oh
It was all child's play before 100K.
Oh God.
Now it's hot.
I'm looking off camera.
Hello there. I'm Will. I'm the CEO of Panther, and I'm here doing Hot Ones with my good friend and esteemed colleague, the founder and CTO of Panther, Jack Naglieri.
Hello, hello.
Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
You ready to get after it with some hot wings today?
I am indeed.
What do you have on your plate today? I know it's not actual chicken.
It's not actual chicken. It is some vegan concoction of chicken nuggets.
Excellent.
Yeah,
As long as it can tolerate the heat, we're ready to go.
I think we're good.
All right, so we're gonna run through some questions, and as we go, we're gonna crawl up the Scoville ladder together.
It's gonna be intense.
So you've had an interesting career moving from practitioner to founder. What do you think you did differently that enabled you to make that leap from security engineer to founder of a company?
It's a good question. I think it starts with always having the aspiration to run a business and to start something and to be a builder. And I've always been really intrigued in creation, building, orchestration, all of these types of things. And I think becoming a software developer turned that on to me, turned that itch of wanting to keep building. And Airbnb was the first job that I had that gave me the opportunity to continue building, release some stuff open source, and kind of keep that going forward. And I think the other side of it is saying yes to the right opportunities. We have a very unconventional founding story. So we were incubated at a seed stage venture firm. And then we grew into what we are today over the last about 6 years. So yeah, just saying yes, keeping an open mind, keeping a builder's mindset. I think that was really a lot what was different and unique about my journey in particular.
So let's go ahead and get started with some hot sauce. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that all of our hot sauces are, oh wow, that's a healthy dollop.
This is
I hope that's
level one, so
I hope that's a sign of good things to come for you. And this first hot sauce is Cry PTO Crackdown. So I forgot to mention that all of our hot sauces are named after security thematic topics. And I'm gonna learn from your mistake and go slow. There we go.
All cast no breaks, baby.
Cheers.
Salud.
Let's see what we can do. Oh, it's pretty tasty. What do you think?
I put way too much.
You take the whole thing too?
No, I left a chunk on there, but
It's pretty good.
you know what? I'm just gonna clean it.
There you go.
You know,
Oh, if you're gonna make that mistake, it's better to do it on this side of the equation.
at least we didn't start on the wrong side.
So you're a believer in detection engineering as a discipline. Think that's important?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a discipline, it teaches people the right things that they need to know to progress their career as well. I didn't start off as a software developer. I kind of learned it on the job, like I think a lot of other security practitioners do, to automate themselves out of pain that they've experienced. So I think it teaches you and it empowers you on how to make the world, your world, better. I was gonna say the world, like it's like we're on a missionary trip or something.
Existential.
Yeah, it's not that deep.
It can be.
That's true. I mean, breaches are important, but I think it was a reaction to just being frustrated. Like, I really wanted to learn how to make the systems better, have better data, do a better job at, being a security practitioner.
Now people have the job title of detection engineer.
That's right.
Is that new?
It is new. Yeah, I think it's like the last 4 or 5 years, I would say, probably around the time that we started. I mean, detection as code wasn't really a thing for a long time. Stream Alert and the projects around that time, Elast Alert, Similar, were really the first ones that started this trend. And I'm sure people will comment and be like, no, there was another project that I did when I was a dev at so-and-so.
Jack.
Yeah, I know people will check me on it, but it wasn't broadly popular then. That wasn't really a job.
Yeah.
It was, you're on a CSIRT team, you respond to breaches, and you write alerts. It wasn't really deeper than that. And we just kind of rode that wave for a long time. And I think we kind of hit a limit. And there's always these like step function inflection points that happen in industry in general. And I think this is one of them. And AI is a new one, obviously. I don't have to say that. Everyone knows it.
Let's go for the number 2.
All right.
Let's give us the
Baseline blend. Give it a little shake.
Every good security practitioner knows you need strong baselines.
That's very true.
So the detection engineers, are they going to take over the world? Is it going to be a job that you see in every single SOC in the next 5 years? That one's kind of sweet.
That one's not as hot as the first one.
I think we need a little more of that.
Yeah. Maybe I just put way less. What was your question? Are they going to take over the world?
Are they going to take over the world? I.e., will they be in every SOC in the next 5 years?
I think so. I think that world's evolving very quickly, but it's still to be determined the impact of AI in security engineering. In detection engineering in general, a lot of people think that it's a lot harder because of the programming like requirement that comes with it, but AI just completely like reduced the entry point to get into that now. So AI should help people to learn how to code, to apply that towards security, make that a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I foresee it happening. And you can use LLMs and Gen AI in a lot of different ways in security monitoring. And there's a lot of startups that are investigating doing this on the triage side,
Right.
which makes sense. It's like, we get this alert, we have this playbook. Before we'd have some automation and then we'd have tier 1 analysts. That's probably gonna get a lot easier, or we're gonna elevate our floor to be tier 2 by default. So yeah, I can foresee it happening. It's to be determined to what depths people really go in the process. Like, are they becoming data engineers? Are they becoming security engineers only? So we'll definitely start to see more prominence.
What do you think the difference is between security engineer and detection engineer?
Security engineer is more broad. It's typically more around securing the application of the company. So for example, at Airbnb, we had security engineers that would work with our production teams and our software developers who are building Airbnb's product. And they would make sure they're doing secure coding and like the right best practices and things that would protect the application from being compromised. So more on the AppSec side. Security engineering wasn't really a term used in detection until recently. It's been kind of blended because of the detection engineering.
You want to go to number 3?
I think so. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Baseline was a good baseline. Ready to climb up another rung of the ladder.
All right, I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
How did you get into security?
By accident.
You just were walking down the street one day.
Somebody hacked my phone and I was like, oh shit, I should probably get a career going in this. I stumbled into identity and access management, which is, depends on who you ask, whether it's security or not, but I've always considered identity and access management the front door of the organization's security program. What's the title on this one?
Anomaly Alert. 10,000 Scovilles.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, I know this brand. I saw it when I was in Mexico. Just kidding.
It's a good band. I always thought identity and access management was a very utilitarian thing to understand. I kind of saw it shaping the way that the internet. I went to a lot of these kind of like utility conferences around identity, and it was multifaceted. It was part of these, part of it was a bunch of security nerds that were coming and thinking about people hacking it. And then the other half of the people were thinking about how digital identity was going to be kind of like the thing that we built societies around. And so I thought that kind of thing was kind of interesting, and I kept pulling on the thread, and it led me to Panther. And now, we're certainly doing security, working with security teams, not IT teams.
That's right.
But I always felt like it gave me a good base of understanding what the security teams were doing, because identity is such a critical part of understanding what's happening inside of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
When you think of detection engineering and detection as code, how do you see critical infrastructure systems like identity playing a piece of that puzzle?
It's super important.
Yeah.
It's super important because in detection, you're effectively trying to understand people.
Right.
Right? Most of the time. Sometimes it's machines, but machines are a proxy of people in a lot of ways. We program machines to do things. Sorry, it's getting hot. I think it hit me a little bit on that one. We program machines to do things, and we're monitoring that. So identities.
They have profiles too, right?
They have profiles, yeah.
They have an identity, a machine identity, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is trying to predict human behavior. There's a lot of psychology that happens as well in detection that I don't think people really explicitly talk about often.
And your father's a bit of a psychologist.
That's right, yeah. He is quite a bit of a psychologist, actually, if you're watching. Yeah, it's funny how our paths kind of diverged.
Well, kind of diverged, but kind of similar in a lot of ways too, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about kind of the big picture and why people do what they do. And your dad models it in tests and you model it in code.
I like that. Ooh, this one smells great.
What's the title?
Trying to figure out what's in it. This is Threat Threshold, 14,000 Scovilles. I'm gonna flip the wing over.
Give yourself a flat bottom.
Oh,
God. Oh, Jack's going aggressive today. He's got a high threshold.
I woke up and chose violence.
That's right.
On myself,
Yep.
apparently.
Yep.
Oh, God.
All right.
Salute.
Salute. Kind of sweet.
That was really good.
You like that?
Yeah, it's like some type of fruit for sure.
Yeah, like pineapple or something maybe?
I'm gonna do another bite of that one. It is too good.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste it.
I like that you're saving a little for later. Detection is code. Is everybody doing it? Will everybody be doing it?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's the same shift that happened in infra. Infra was this like, infrastructure as code was this system that was built internally for a lot of years.
Right.
And then it became standardized and then declared in code and then things moved to immutable infrastructure and things got containerized and Kubernetes and all these things. I'm just listing off buzzwords at this point.
Yep.
Hashtags. Yeah, I mean, the evolution to code, everything as code has already happened.
Yep. That extra bite's getting you.
Yeah. I was like, my tongue's feeling a little numb. I like feel my body temperature just rising right now.
That's right. Slowly.
We got 5 more to go.
6 if I'm not mistaken. No, 5.
Really?
1, 2. Oh, we have 9.
You have an extra?
Yeah. No. I
As I say, you got 6?
might be hiding one.
Are we using the same deck?
I got hot sauce in my purse.
Apparently. What kind of purse do you have? I think it's going to be more prominent. I think there's going to be degrees of depth in code.
Yeah.
Some people are going to want to go really intense into code, and some people are going to just want to do the bare minimum that they need to get their job done. So that's why there's a range of detection as code.
Yeah.
I wrote a blog on Substack to plug the newsletter I've been writing, and I wrote one about correlation, and I got to a point where I was like, detection as code. Does that mean that you have to be writing software for it to be considered detection as code?
Right.
Or is a declaration like YAML considered detection as code? And where I landed is, I think most people accept detection as code as anything that can be declared. So it could be YAML, it could be Python, it could be Go, it could be Rust, whatever your heart desires. As long as you can check it into a repo, it's structured, and you have these pieces of composability, reusability, and those same practices as software.
Detection is text, almost.
Maybe.
As long as it's text, right? It needs to be declared, doesn't matter what language it's in.
Yeah.
What do you think people get wrong about detection as code?
Well, I think in general, there's things people get wrong just about SIM, right? Kind of like above detection as code. And I think what people get wrong is they assume that they should have 1,000 rules running at once without really understanding why. So a lot of the things that we've been talking about on the podcast, also to plug the podcast, the Detection at Scale podcast, is intentionality. Everyone talks about 100% MITRE attack coverage like it's some like gold medal that vendors should talk about. But in reality, that coverage doesn't really matter to everybody. Why do I want to get an alert that someone's scanning me? And the answer is I don't want to get that because it doesn't matter, right? So it's like the balance of your controls, your business logic, and what you care about from a security perspective is what should really go into that. And then you can start to think about the detection as code side. But if you do the first part really well, then the second part becomes a lot easier in general by default. So I think we need to change the mindset of the industry and how we're thinking about rules and how the intentionality comes into it. It's more about quality than quantity.
Right.
How we should be thinking.
Shall we?
We shall.
Let's do it.
My nose is running. It's starting.
Where are we headed from here?
Oof, in terms of Scovilles, I'm reading the ingredients. Okay, this is double. what we just did.
40,000, 30,000?
25,000.
Okay.
25,000 Scovilles.
I mean, we're going up to 2.5 million, so.
Yeah, something like that. It jumps.
25,000.
It jumps pretty fast. I don't know. I'm gonna go slow. See if I can actually do a. I don't want to be like too.
Yeah, you gotta taste it. It's gotta be big enough to taste.
All right. Well, here you go.
There we go. There we go. I like it.
You just gotta be careful once we get to about here.
Then it starts getting
Touching it.
Don't touch your eyes.
Yeah, I'm wearing contacts, so gotta remember that.
I think I did a
That was healthy. I respect that. I respect
equally sized dollop. Cheers.
Salute.
And this one's incident response. 25,000 Scovilles. It's not that bad. I don't really taste it.
I feel like this is hotter than this one.
Yeah. Somehow they masked that one.
Yeah. Gotta do a double bite on that one.
So you mentioned intentionality. Next question for you is, what have you seen, or where have you seen leaders go wrong in trying to build out detection engineering functions and teams?
It's a good question. I mean, to be honest, the first.
Some oat milk.
What? Are you okay?
Give it some oat milk. See how that. See how the oat milk does.
Oaty.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet.
That's literally what it tastes like. Just oats.
It's actually not bad.
It actually isn't bad. Very good. We should get a shot of espresso into that.
Oh, that would be good.
That would really make this interview 10 times better.
Yeah, a little scoop of ice cream, making an affogato.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's a good question. I think it's hard for me to say because I have limited firsthand experience in building the team myself. I think a lot of the root, going back to it, what we were just talking about with intentionality, is exactly that. Having the right mindset of understanding, like, what do we need to detect and why? I think if we do that really well, that's a great first step.
Yeah.
And then thinking through all the way to the end, thinking about, okay, we have a rule, what are we gonna do after that? And then how do we just plot all of the steps and cut it in half and continually measure that, make that better.
Interesting.
So I think maybe the one answer to this could be measurement.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do we care about measuring? What do we care about reporting in our program? And are we taking a growth mindset when it comes to making our team's processes better over time? I hear a lot about that at the CISO level, right? Because at the executive level, they need to justify it. They need to say, well, we're spending X amount of dollars, what are we getting in return? And a lot of that measurement can help with that.
Yeah, if you can't measure, it doesn't exist.
Yep, exactly. Just trying to think of the quote about measurement.
Measure what matters.
Measure what matters.
There you go.
True.
You want to do another question?
Let's do another question.
Another question. Detection engineering as a role, as a job. How do you get the job? What skills, background, experience do you need to find yourself in that position?
It's a good question. What I did personally was I learned how to be a cloud engineer, or I spent a lot of time just hacking around on Amazon and AWS. And when I joined Airbnb, I had never used AWS at all. So I think just an understanding of cloud infrastructure, or really just infrastructure in general, is important to do the job for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons is that you have to understand what you're monitoring and what normal means in certain systems, how they all connect together. And when you build the infrastructure, you learn that firsthand.
Right.
Right? It's like being a mechanic. You should have some experience in like putting cars together to a degree.
Yeah.
Right? Taking them apart, putting them together, so you know how to diagnose them, you know how they should be running.
Right.
So cloud infrastructure is really important. Just enough software development is important. I don't think you need to be like an application programmer, but you should have some good chops when it comes to building software that runs in infrastructure versus like a web application, although that can be useful. But more of like systems and OS level stuff is important. And then obviously just being an analyst. Like a lot of people start as analysts. I think that's fairly typical because you have to have a good understanding of how attacks happen. And you have to live through a few of those incidents and spend a few months or years in war rooms and learning about the range of attacks that happen, from the smash and grabs to somebody's downloading uTorrent and getting Game of Thrones on their laptop. Not that I'm speaking.
Never happened here. Wasn't me.
No. Just hypotheticals. And all the way up to like critical vulnerabilities like Heartbleed. Living through that at Yahoo is a really interesting experience. And living through those breaches and those vulnerabilities in general teaches you the mindset. And everything's a trade-off in security. Right? Like the usability and security, right? And freedom. There's a lot of freedom involved in it. Do you want to make it really hard to use, or do you want to make it secure?
It's a trade-off.
There's a trade-off.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready for your next dollop of hot sauce?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, we're halfway through, more than halfway through.
Yeah, but I think the level of difficulty is going to go way up on this one, is my guess.
Yeah.
This is
The last one was pretty easy.
This is also, I think it just gets exponential each one after that. So
What's our Scoville meter on this?
50,000.
Okay, so we're sitting double. It's called Red Alert. So
Not optimistic about this one.
50 grand.
That's right.
I'm going heavy.
I'm trying to get all the other sauces too.
Definitely peppery. Not getting a strong heat profile though. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, these sauces on or what? Can't get too cocky.
Keep climbing.
Or maybe we need to add more.
So you said it's important for detection engineers to have some of that war room experience.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of matriculating up through analyst work. With AI coming, analysts are probably going to be fewer and far between, or those jobs are going to be harder to get, fewer roles available. What do you think that means for the pathway that people take in order to really understand the attack techniques and kind of like how people go about understanding attacker profiles?
AI is going to make it better for us. It's going to make our jobs easier, and it's going to diversify our thinking. So I think
Diversify or standardize?
I think naturally Gen AI is not really standard, right? There's always a level of randomness that comes with it. That's why, unless you prompt it in certain ways, but a lot of the times with models, you'll get slightly varied responses depending on your prompts. So I think just learning the art of prompting and understanding how to interact and what's capable with Gen AI, like with vector search and like a lot of these like new sort of developments in the last few years, it's going to be really important for us to embrace it. And it's probably never going to completely eliminate the need for an analyst because there's so much different context that's needed. And we'll get better every few months, every quarter, every year, because the models are getting better all the time. We're finding new ways to train them, scale them, have slightly different weights, et cetera. But I think we need to start now.
How do you think it'll impact the job of the detection engineer?
I think it's going to make it easier as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you can use it to generate code, it's good at doing that. Right? Like it's trained on such a massive data set of code, and it can really help you figure out what good is. I always think about, so I have a car that will do automatic parallel parking. And I think it's like the best use case for something like AI, right? It's like, it's a job that I don't like doing, that is kind of technical and hard, that it just does perfectly every time.
Yeah.
And what's great about it is it teaches me what I need to be knowing about it. So now that I've seen it, parallel park, I can mimic that. And it does it in a way that I would not have done it. I think that's the beauty with something like AI, is it takes what's known and sort of combines it in new ways that's interesting. It's the same reason why building out a team of diverse thinkers is really beneficial. It's a lot of those same benefits, but you've sort of scaled that to some insane, group of people thinking. And that's what Gen AI is really about, right? It's about taking huge data sets and finding that intersection of the right answer. My nose is running. That's funny.
This was the last one we did.
I'm
Was
gonna
Red
clean
Alert.
this one up though.
That was 50. And now we're making our way up to Firewall Fury at 119.
Honestly, I feel like this one was hot.
That was hot. The
Yeah,
last two haven't
I
been
just
too
had
bad.
it. I had it again. That one's pretty hot. Again, I think we're probably getting a little cocky here.
Yeah, there's some more pain in our future.
Oat milk surprisingly works.
It is. It's actually quite good, isn't it?
Not sponsored. Not yet.
Shall we?
Oh yeah. Let's make these answers a little bit more entertaining.
Let's keep going.
I'm just gonna do something dumb.
You're just gonna go ham?
I don't know, man. I feel like if this is probably not the one to do it on, but gotta give the people what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we don't get some tears out of this, I think we're all gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna go heavy. Oh, I like that one. That one's pretty good. But it's got
Oh yeah.
it's got some like underlying heat. Good flavor, but tastes like gasoline.
Oh shit. We curse on this?
Yeah,
gonna bleep?
it's the internet.
Is it gonna bleep? Oh my god.
Woo. Firewall Fury.
Stopping.
That's good. I feel like we've elevated our game. You had to get over 100,000 Scovilles to
Oh shit.
actually make it kick. You've done this before, right?
Yeah.
How high did you go in the last in your last hot ones? Woo. Give me the hiccups. I mean, that's good.
Oh my god, it's still 8. Oh shit.
Woo. Woo.
Okay, I'll take this now.
Oat milk to the rescue.
All right, question. What's your morning routine, Will?
Ooh, my morning routine, get up, walk the dog,
Oh my god, it doesn't stop.
do the exercise, eat some hot sauce, get out the door. I make a smoothie. Smoothie's the best part of the day.
Oh god.
What's your signature dish, Jack? Oh my God. Woo.
Oh
It was all child's play before 100K.
Oh god.
Now it's hot.
I'm looking off camera.
Ooh.
Oh
Do
man.
you have any cooking tips?
Yeah, don't use timers.
Don't use timers.
No. Cook by feel. I feel like you have to use a recipe as a guide.
Yeah.
Except for baking. Baking's usually pretty predictable.
You can't fuck up baking. Woo. More oat milk.
I feel like I just ran a marathon. Oh my god.
Oh, that's good.
My eyes are glistening probably. That one is Fury for sure.
It's hot. That's the Firewall Fury.
What the hell happened between those two?
That was only a 50K difference, but it it was pretty
I feel
severe.
like we were like walking in the park, like eating ice cream,
On a nice day.
and then we just went
enjoying
into
life.
like CrossFit hosted by David Goggins in like an instant.
So good.
I want to think of a metaphor, but my mind's a little.
I can't
Can't
think.
think of anything.
I got to be careful with the hands to the eyes.
Oh god.
Getting that 125,000 Scovilles in my eyes is not the business.
I feel like a best cooking tip is make a lot of dishes that don't turn out.
Yeah, practice, trial and error.
Try.
What's
Cooking is confidence.
What's a great dish that you fucked up a bunch of times and then learned how to perfect?
I've been making so much bread.
Yeah.
You know this. I've been making focaccia a ton. I've made it to where sometimes it came out raw
Yeah,
in the middle
not good.
somehow. I've made it to where it didn't rise. I made complete failures. It came out as flatbread, and eventually now we have the product that we all love. And I think building a company is a lot like that too.
Trial and error.
Learning fast.
Yeah,
Everything's about that.
yeah.
And I think going into this next hot sauce, I'm gonna not do that much.
That was a big dollop. The thing that Shvet always liked to tell us was don't make the same mistakes twice, right?
Really make new mistakes.
Only make new mistakes. So
Oh my God, I didn't think I was gonna drink this.
carry that forward as you apply your 8th of 9 hot sauces.
Do we burn calories by eating hot sauce?
I don't know, maybe.
I think this is the
I'm gonna say
equivalent.
yes.
I think our heart rate's going up probably.
Yeah,
I could probably be looking at my Whoop right now. And it will tell me.
I have this overwhelming sense of anxiety.
Yeah, somehow. Anxiety, it's a good topic for security.
It is.
You have to be resilient to do detection and response. You have to learn to keep a level head under pressure.
Yeah.
That's important.
One of the things that was in my head that I wanted to ask you, and I didn't have a chance to do it, but the company's 3 values, be an owner, take care of the team, great customer love.
Yep.
How were those informed by your time in the SOC?
They actually were never connected, but now that you connect them, create customer love is the one that was probably formed the most by it, because there's always this inherent distrust of vendors, right? Because as a security practitioner, I'd say like, well, you were never in my shoes. You don't really know what we're actually doing.
Right.
And there's always this inherent distrust, and it probably still exists as I,
Try to peddle software to security teams.
yeah.
You can trust us, we promise. We're Panther.
Oh my God. I think that's what made me more empathetic of building software.
Yeah.
But transferring that internally has also been something that's been hard, because it's one of those things where security and detection and response in general is so unique. It's not like working for a company that builds like DoorDash, right? And we love DoorDash, shout to DoorDash. We ordered DoorDash for lunch.
We did.
Surprisingly. And it's not as relatable to a lot of developers. So people, I'm not talking about people who work in security, I'm talking about software engineers who help us at the company build our product for practitioners.
Yeah.
So figuring out really clever ways to teach them what our practitioner audience goes through has been pretty fun and kind of challenging, because the mind of a security practitioner is something it takes years to get into and really understand the nuance. It's like the curse of knowledge, you know? Like once you learn it, you'll never unlearn it.
Yep.
You'll always
Can't unknow it.
You'll always see things from that perspective.
Right.
The others really came out of inspiration from startup people that I admired. Create Customer Love was the one that resonated with me a lot as a former practitioner.
Yeah.
I still think I'm a practitioner. I still do some security stuff for fun. I think I have to stay current with it. Otherwise, it's hard for me to write content that's valuable.
Yeah.
One of the things I absolutely always hated as a practitioner was the content that vendors would put out would be so generic and not talking about the actual problem.
Right.
And that's one thing that we've been really focused on doing, is creating content that can be relatable, helpful, etc., to security teams and get some value.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing in Detection at Scale. That's why the podcast exists.
Right.
It's to bring other people who are doing it every day, who are much more current and more experienced than us in it, and having them talk through their journey. It's been really amazing. I've learned so much from others that have been on the show. I feel like we're putting on a show right now.
Yeah, we're getting there. Let's climb the ladder.
Oh yeah, just get.
I think I'm just gonna use some water. Yeah, you can refill me. Why not?
Water makes it worse, I think.
Get that man some oat milk.
Does it?
I think so.
My body's just gonna hate me after this.
Just fill it to
No,
the
it's fine.
top. Fill it to the top.
No. It's fine.
Is that
Well,
for
the heavy
the heavy hitters?
Yeah, well,
I feel back to normal, mostly.
I'm gonna convert to Spanish. At some point, I'm just gonna start responding in Spanish. Let's do that much. That feels maybe, hopefully, non-regrettable.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, what are we at? We're at 0 day zest, 550,000 SHU.
See this?
Units.
All right. I just want people to check that
do it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're not faking. I'm gonna go kind of ham and just kind of see what happens.
Oh God! All right. Well, I'm not gonna let you do it alone.
Salute.
Salute. This is like my.
It's the boneyard.
Oh yeah, that one's hot.
I feel like the other one was hotter.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like once you get past this one, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was serious. This one's actually kind of tasty. I don't mind this one.
What's going on here? You got 3 more uneaten ones?
I don't know what I'm.
Is there extra sauce we don't know about?
Maybe. You like cars.
Indeed. I used to be a car detailer when I was a 16-year-old.
What was the nicest car you detailed?
A Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Rolls Royce was sick. It was an old Rolls Royce too.
Yeah.
I used to work with this guy named DJ, funny enough. And it's funny because I used to DJ as well, but he's a pro, he still is. He's still doing great work in Virginia, where I'm from. Coincidentally, a ton of security people out in Northern Virginia. It's a huge security hub. So yeah, he brought me into a shop one day and they had a Rolls Royce. And
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful car.
Yeah.
Such a work of art.
You remember the color?
I'm pretty sure it was black.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was just destroyed.
Guy had been off-roading it or something.
The worst one I think we ever did, it was we didn't even finish the job. It was so gnarly, I almost scratched my eye. That was about to be a big mistake. The car was it was left outside with the top down for years. And we just there were rats in the back. It was a whole thing. It was.
And somebody wanted to pay you to detail it?
We started and ended in 10 minutes. We were no, we're all right. We're not gonna do this. You can keep the money.
So if you could design your own custom car, features, specs, what would you prioritize?
Honestly, the self-driving has been pretty great. That's the practical side of me. That's not the fun side.
Self-driving, yeah.
I think that all-wheel drive cars are amazing for a lot of reasons. I've always been an all-wheel drive fan because you can go through any climate.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge all-wheel drive person. I don't know. I feel like if you asked me this as a 23-year-old, I would have been it's got to be 600 horsepower. It's got to be all-wheel drive. It's got to be low. But now as a 30-something-year-old, practical grown up.
Yep.
I'm like, well, electric cars are good for the environment, good for sustainability.
That's right. Got a big trunk, put the bags in.
Yeah, it can, when I have a family in a few years, things like that.
What kind of car do you drive today?
I have a Tesla.
Yeah. Self-drives?
I just feel like I have to say that as a founder in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like if we play like founder bingo, I don't have Allbirds.
Not yet.
I do have a Patagonia. If Allbirds wants to sponsor me, sponsor Panther.
Shout out
actually.
Allbirds. Probably need some.
Founded here. They probably need a sim.
Probably
That's
need
a
a
good
sim.
point. We'll trade you. We'll do like a year of Allbirds. We'll do 200 pairs of Allbirds for 5 years of sim. It's a pretty good deal.
It's a good deal.
Pretty good deal.
You got to host the bill though. Cloud connected.
Yeah, we'll send the DocuSign tonight. Patagonia vest.
You got that? Check.
I have Patagonia sweater or jacket, not a vest. I refuse to wear
The
one.
real tell those. Do you call it Patagucci?
Oh no.
No. Okay.
No, I wouldn't do it to that brand.
That's an X.
I have too much respect for them to say that to both brands. As an Italian, I have too much respect for Gucci.
What's your favorite feature of the Tesla, and what's your least favorite feature of the Tesla?
My least favorite feature is probably also my favorite feature, which is the self-driving. The self-driving is amazing. It's also a great demonstration of how AI has gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Like full self-drive or autopilot, everyone thought was like literally autopilot from the day they released it as that.
Right.
It was just glorified cruise control for a long time.
Yep.
And now it's like, it will drive you from point A to point B in a city.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And you've seen it get better with the software updates that it's pushed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've experienced it a lot. But also, the reason I make the joke is that it does some weird things sometimes, like it'll just stop.
Yes.
Like, it'll think it sees something. But it's a perfect explanation of AI, right? It's like AI does 90% or 80% of it. You do the last 10 to 20%.
Right.
It's kind of like that. And it allows me to do other things while I'm driving, like tweet. They have, actually, you know what?
Both phones.
Yeah, exactly. They actually, so I'm pretty sure the way they do it, and if someone works at Tesla, they can check me. I'm pretty sure they've trained models to look for people holding their cell phones. Because the autopilot will disable if you're holding your phone like
Interesting.
this. And I'm pretty sure they've done that through computer vision.
Yeah.
That's my hunch. It's pretty cool though, but sometimes it like wants to turn into a bus, and I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Let's relax.
maybe not.
Let's not run over a cyclist. That'd be great.
Speaking of running into a bus, shall we try the top of the chart?
I feel like do you have a good question lined up?
Yeah, I do have a good question.
Both answer it.
Influences. Your biggest influence, both personally and professionally. Who is it? Why?
I'm gonna bite and answer after I eat this.
Yeah, take a few seconds to think about it. Get hot and think about it.
God, who's my biggest influence?
Oh, that one's sweet. The Ultimate Breach, 2.693 million Scovilles. Not terrible.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't do enough.
I don't know. Should we try more? Is it working?
This is how they do it on the show.
They go.
Oh, God,
They
that
go on the
was
side.
He does the dab on the board. So, Sean, if you're watching this,
Do you get more that way?
I don't know, but we're gonna do a double.
Okay.
Oh God, that's too much.
Hot. But this one was the killer. In my book.
Those damn firewalls, man.
Yeah. Furious Firewall. Was that Firewall Fury?
Yeah.
Yeah. Firewalls are fucking terrible.
Such nerds.
Anytime your system's fucked up, you gotta look at the firewall.
Biggest influence? I think it's changed every point in my life. I would start with my dad. Cliche maybe, but I think the work ethic that I learned as a kid was probably the best thing that influenced me in my life.
Yeah.
Through everything. And I would kind of leave it at that. And there's been other people that have influenced and been great coaches and mentors, but I think the underlying work ethic is the thing that is my core differentiator, probably, that I've carried through for the last 20 years.
Do you have a personal mantra?
Have faith.
Have faith.
I've always had that one.
Nice.
Since I was like a 20-year-old. And it actually originally started from music, funny enough, that mantra. It came from writer's block. It was like I felt like I couldn't be creative or I couldn't write. I was writing music and doing more musical things then.
Right.
I was stuck and I was like, oh my God, I really wish I could write something. And, anything creative, I think a lot of people can relate to that. And then, then one day you just get inspired and you get it.
Yeah.
And it takes something that was taking you a week or a month, takes you an hour.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's it. I caught it. So have faith is just about, it's like just having a positive mindset that you'll figure it out if you keep working at it. And you keep that goal like centered and just don't give up.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the time today. You passed the challenge. We got all the way up to the 10th, 9th hot sauce. That one's got to linger. Definitely feeling that.
I don't feel anything.
Really?
That one was nothing to me. I don't know.
It's got to linger in my book. You can get more security tips, practical tips, advice from the Detection at Scale podcast, hosted by Jack Naglieri on a very regular basis. I don't know if it's weekly, monthly.
Twice a month, let's say.
Twice a month. Your favorite practitioners, favorite security leaders coming on the Detection at Scale podcast. You can subscribe to Jack's Substack, where he posts quick snippets and long form articles about the latest tips and techniques for security engineers, detection engineers, security analysts, and security teams. And if you want to be on my show, you are more than welcome. Hit me up direct, Twitter. I don't have it, but you can find me. Thanks for being with us today. Salute. All right.
Questions.
We got the questions.
That was perfect.
Good.
Oh.
That's easy when you have a good guest on your show, you know?
You're getting the afterburn with that one?
Top one afterburn for sure. It lingers.
You made us look like you didn't get your song off.
We could go higher.
No, this one was.
That one was killer.
I think the skull units are like totally not.
Are they they're best guess.
2.6 should. It should, yeah. Make sure you wash your hands.
I encourage you all to try it. You already did. You tried the ultimate breach.
God damn.
Try.
Never do that one.